Melvin here. Just testing out the live stream. Haven't done the live stream in a long time, so I want to check out if how everyone is doing and if you have been missing me. All right, so just a few quick updates right now. What's been happening? So right now, what's been going on is that things are a little different, and so there are a few things that I'm focusing on. So hence, that's why the the live stream has not been resurrected, but soon it will be. All right, soon it will be. Um, what we are gonna do, or rather, what I'm gonna do, is that the few things that I have been doing, and so I want to give you a few updates here. One of the thing that I would like to update you on is the idea of to be able to codify, right? To be able to codify my entire knowledge and know-how on strategic thinking and how I'm able to use that to help people. So I have a little, I have a little, what you might call that, a flywheel, and in that flywheel itself, essentially, it's to share with people what are the things that I have been working on. So if I can just quickly share with you the flywheel. Um, let's see, all right? Okay. All right. So I'm going to attempt to share this window with you. As you can see from this window itself, this visual itself, it start off with a few things. One is I start off with solving more challenges. I believe that, in my last 19 to 20 years of being a consultant, one of the greatest thing that I have gotten, it's the ability to be able to help organizations, schools, and all kinds of organizations to help them in solving problem, right? Solving their challenges. And in solving their challenges itself, one of the most important thing that I do that does for me is that it helps me in my it expands my knowledge, it expands my know-how, right? And one of the key principles that I've always lived by is the principle of share more than others in public. And so I'm not a type that will be concerned about if I share, people are going to be able to take what I've been sharing, and hence, as a result of that, they have no need to hire me anymore, right? So that was the key idea, but that's not how it works. And so when I share more than others in public, the few things that happen. One is that I get more visibility, and when I get more visibility, and over time I get more people knowing me, that really brings up a level of credibility. And in addition to that, because I share publicly more than other people, I'm able to help other people as well, right? I'm able to help more people, and because I'm able to help more people, that kind of aligns to my purpose in life, and so that really helps me a lot. And so that's been the main thing that I have been working on. And if you look at my um, if you look at my Twitter profile, because these days I'm hanging out a lot more on Twitter, it's a great place. So I highly recommend that if you are looking for a social media platform to hang out, the place to do it, it's Twitter itself. All right, so hit me up on Twitter. And so if you look at my Twitter profile, the few things that I am talking about, one is that I'm sharing my notes publicly, and I'm doing that via my other Twitter account, which is Linked Infinity. And later on, I'll get into a little bit about what it's Linked Infinity. All right. The other thing is that when I the other thing that I do, of course, is my main line of work. I'm a strategy consultant at Line Consulting. This is a company that I founded back in 2002. So it's been a while. And on Twitter itself, I'm largely, tweeting about strategic thinking, how to be a strategic thinker, how to think strategically, how to, hone your competency in that respect itself, right? So I tweet about strategic thinking. And of course, as a believer, I know that I am saved by Jesus. Now, thank you. So, as you can see, my call to action here is I would like you to read my notes. So, if you head on down to this URL here, you would actually go to my notes. So, if I can just show you very quickly what it is so that you can get a glimpse of what I am talking about. Okay, so this tool that I'm using right now is called Obsidian. And Obsidian is a great tool to help me codify my knowledge and whatever I'm learning right now on the few things. One, of course, is strategic thinking. The other aspect of it is systems perspective, looking at mental model, as well as building this thing called a personal knowledge management, right? So the whole idea with Obsidian, it's the following. When you take notes, when you read something and you take notes, quite often you're just taking notes. Two things will happen. One is you will take the note and afterwards I'm not quite sure what you're going to do with that. Second thing that it happens quite a fair bit is that you take the notes and later on when you have the opportunity to take a look at the notes itself, you can't find the note. And so when these two things happen, what it brings about is you have this huge library of notes that you either A, do not refer to, or B, it's become so humongous that you have no idea how to go about looking at those ideas, connecting them, and more importantly, creating new knowledge from there. And so the core idea behind a personal knowledge management is that when you read something or when you learn something, you would take notes, right? And the notes that you take are not just, merely copying what you have read down. What you do is you read what you have read, and from there you give your own insights, you give your own perspective. And once you have given your own perspective, you record that down and you put it down into your personal knowledge management system. And the whole idea with this is that every single piece of note that you have written down, it's just one idea, right? It's just one idea. And when you first start doing this, it will seem like, it's not amounting to anything much. But over time, what you're going to see is that you are going to be able to see this web of ideas and how they kind of link to each other. And so if you go to mel.2/notes, you would actually come to my personal knowledge management system. Of course, this is not the entire knowledge management system that I have on my computer. I am only selecting to release and to publish a segment of what I deem to be appropriate to share with the public on Obsidian itself. So if you head on down to this website, you would actually see all my notes, right? So if I can just give you a quick tour, what you will see here is that on the landing page itself, you will see how to think strategically. And the core idea behind this is really changes are happening so rapidly, right? And that means the need to make sense of these changes must also happen at an accelerated pace. And it's easy to see why many people are nervous about this whole change, because they perceive that only strategic thinkers or those in high level positions have the ability to make sense of these changes. And as a result of that, it's just like now with this pandemic that's going on, people are wondering, like, should I plan? Should I not plan? How should I do this? And the truth of the matter is that a lot of people think that, only people in the government or someone who is in academia or business owners, right, or high level positions, executives, only they would be able to figure out like what's going on because they have access to the data. But the reality is that anyone can develop this skill set called strategic thinking. So, if you ask anyone who runs a profitable one-person business or someone who has a successful career, they will tell you how important strategic thinking have helped them, right? And how strategic thinking have helped them leverage the changes that are going on rather than having the changes work against them. So if you are thinking, so how do I hone the competency of thinking strategically? That's where I think I can help. Because as a consultant and as a trainer who teaches strategic thinking for the last 19 years, it has given me tremendous opportunity to hone my competency in strategic thinking. And right now, as an experiment, what I've been up to in the last couple of months is that, I have been making these notes. I've been codifying everything that I know and everything that I'm learning into this PKM, right? PKM, it's personal knowledge management. And so as I codify everything, what I want to do is I believe that if I share the notes publicly, it will actually help more people. And so if that's something that you want to, sharpen, if you want to sharpen your strategic thinking skills, then definitely, check out my notes itself, because this is where you can get all the good stuff and all the notes about strategic thinking, mental models, as well as PKM workflow. So just to give you a glimpse of what's in here, of course, every segment has got what I call an index page. And the index page kind of gives you a quick overview of what you can expect. But over here, you have all the different aspects, skills, competencies that you can develop as a strategic thinker. And one thing I might warn you is that some of these notes that you see here, they are, they might seem like they are a little incomplete or inadequately researched. And the truth of the matter is that, I'm still working on it, right? And this is what I love about the system, because it doesn't have to be complete. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be something like a placeholder where I capture all the thoughts, and my thinking behind that, right? So, as an example, recently I've been reading about having a sense of direction, right? Is having a sense of direction a boon or a bane? And you could argue otherwise, but essentially, here's where, you know from the book itself, it says strategy sets direction. There is advantage to that, and there is also disadvantage to that, right? And so, what I really like to do here is that, I want to give my insights and my interpretation of whether I think having direction is a good thing or it's a bad thing. And more importantly, with all that I am talking about, all this are my interpretation, and this is the original text. And of course, if you like to know where I get, the information from, you can always check out the references itself. So many of it's some things that I have been reading on, like for example about perspective. One of the key thing as a strategic thinker is you must have perspective, right? You must have a perspective. So how do you develop perspective, right? How do you develop perspective? And here is where I go into a bit more detail about how you could develop perspective. And as you can see, there is all these wiki links that kind of link to the other ideas itself. So, like for example, here the first step in developing your unique perspective is to ask a series of convergent questions. What are convergent questions? Instead of elaborating here, you could actually go to here and you could see what are convergent questions, right? And so that's the whole idea with this tool itself. I'm so excited because I finally found a tool that allows me to capture my thoughts and share it with you, even though it is still not perfect, right? And you would agree with me that many of the ideas that we have are never fully complete and never fully finished, because the idea can always be worked upon, and it's always something that you could do more of, right? And so, it's really interesting. So once again, I will leave the references. So if you like to know where I'm getting all this information from, this is where you could go to. All right, so that is essentially my what I've been up to. So definitely check it out. I just want to see what's going on the different social media platform that I am streaming live to. So anyone on LinkedIn there, if you got a question, please, I'll be more than glad to answer any questions that you might have. If not, in any case, this is just a trial live stream, because I'm just messing up my desk a little bit, reconfiguring it. I kind of reconfigure my desk like every other 2 weeks because of the workflow and the way that I work. I want my equipment to be in the best position possible so that I could get the best mileage out of it. So lots of stuff to update you guys on. And if I can ask you, the main thing that I'd like you to do is to head on down to Twitter and hit me up there, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you. All right. And so with that, thank you. And I am going to shut down this stream now. So If you got a question, still leave it. Otherwise, head on down to my PKM, and that's where you are able to get a better sense of what exactly it's strategic thinking. All right, adios, guys, and I am going to be signing out here. All right, and this is Melvin signing out. Peace.